Yo, what's up, guys? It is Monster Jam Collector Racing here. I'm here with Sound Series number 422, the Double Pack Showdown Edition. And let's go racing. We're going to kick things off with Snakebite 1995 and Bigfoot 10. And the first one is going to Bigfoot 10. Next up is A51 Patrol taking on Test Subject. It's going to be A51 Patrol. Next up is One Bad Scoop taking on Carbonator Hot Wheels Float. It's going to be Carbonator Hot Wheels Float. Next up is Rex Explorer taking on Mega Rex Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live. It's going to be Rex Explorer. Next up is Slinger taking on El Toro Loco. It's going to be Slinger. Next up is Boneyard Gravedigger taking on Calavera. It's going to be the Boneyard Gravedigger. Next up is Baja Buster taking on Hot Wheels Racing number 1. It's going to Baja Buster. Next up is 32 Degrees taking on Scorcher. It's going to Scorcher, I think. Yep, Scorcher wins. Next up is Blue Mega Rex taking on Motosaurus. It's going to Blue Mega Rex. Next up is Hot Wheels Police taking on Hooligan. It's going to be Hot Wheels Police. Next up is Monster Vet taking on Bigfoot 2019. It's going to be Monster Vet. Next up is Cyborg Shark taking on the Chromafrost Blue Crustacean. It's going to be Cyborg Shark. Next up is Jester taking on Dragon. It's going to Dragon. Next up is Overkill Evolution taking on Alien Invasion. It's going to Overkill Evolution. Next up is Great Clips Mohawk Warrior taking on Son of a Digger. It's going to be Mohawk Warrior. Next up is Spur of the Moment taking on Steer Clear. It's going to be Spur of the Moment, winning with a comeback. Next up is Red Crustacean Spin Master taking on Big Kahuna. It's going to Red Crustacean Spin Master. Next up, we have our first character battle of the series, Buzz Lightyear and Zurg. And it's going to be Buzz Lightyear. Next up is Loco Punk taking on Pure Muscle. It's going to be Loco Punk. Next up is Red Hot Weiler taking on Hound Hauler. It's going to be Red Hot Weiler. Next up is Zombie Hunter Chromafrost taking on Zombie. It's going to be Zombie Hunter Chromafrost. Next up is Bone Shaker Evil Goblin taking on Roger Dodger. It's going to be... What a race. But it's going to be Bone Shaker Evil Goblin. Next up is Red Crustacean Hot Wheels Monster Jam taking on Shark Reek. It's going to be Shark Reek. Next up is Monster Mud taking on Ice Cream Man. It's going to be... Close race. Oh, just by that much. Monster Mutt gets the win. Next up is Inverse Bakugan Dragonoid taking on Inverse Alien Invasion. It's going to be Inverse Bakugan Dragonoid. Next up is Max D Elementals taking on Earthshaker Elementals. It's going to be Max D Elementals. Next up is Brodozer taking on Gas Monkey Garage Team Discovery Battle. It's going to be Gas Monkey Garage. And the final race of round 1 is Galaxy's Monster Mutt Dalmatian and Gears Whiplash. Wow. What a race that was. But, surprisingly, it's going to Galaxy's Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Alright guys, here we are with round number 2. We're going to kick things off with Bigfoot 10 and A51 Patrol. going to be Bigfoot 10. Next up is Rex Explorer taking on Carbonator Hot Wheels Float. It's going to be Rex Explorer. Next up is Slinger taking on the Boneyard Gravedigger. It's going to be close race, but just barely. Slinger gets the win. Next up is Scorcher taking on Baja Buster. It's going to be Baja Buster. Next up is Hot Wheels Police taking on Blue Mega Rex. It's going to be Hot Wheels Police. Next up is Cyborg Shark taking on Monster Vet. It's going to be Monster Vet. Next up is Overkill Evolution taking on Dragon. It's going to be Overkill Evolution. Next up is Spur of the Moment taking on Mohawk Warrior. It's going to Mohawk Warrior. Next up is Red Crustacean Spin Master taking on Buzz Lightyear. It's going to Buzz Lightyear. Next up is Loco Punk taking on Red Hotweiler. It's going to Loco Punk. Next up is Bone Shaker Evil Goblin taking on Zombie Hunter Chromafrost. It's going to be Bone Shaker Evil Goblin. Next up is Shark Reek taking on Monster Mutt. It's going to be... Ooh. What a race. But it's going to be Monster Mutt. Next up is Dragonoid Inverse taking on Max D Elementals. It's going to... What a race! But it's going to Dragonoid Inverse. And the final race of round 2 is Galaxy's Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on Gas Monkey Garage. It's going to Gas Monkey Garage. Alright guys, here we are with round number 3. We're going to kick things off with Bigfoot 10 and Rex Explorer. It's going to Bigfoot 10. Next up is Baja Buster taking on Slinger. It's going to Baja Buster. Next up is Hot Wheels Police taking on the Monster Vet. It's going to Hot Wheels Police. Next up is Overkill Evolution taking on Mohawk Warrior. It's going to be... What a race! But it's going to be Overkill Evolution. Next up is Buzz Lightyear taking on Loco Punk. It's going to Buzz Lightyear. Next up is Monster Mutt taking on Bone Shaker Evil Goblin. It's going to Bone Shaker Evil Goblin. And the final race of round number 3 is going to feature Gas Monkey Garage and the Inverse Bakugan Dragonoid. It's going to Inverse Dragonoid. Alright guys, here we are with round number 4, which is the quarterfinals, but we're going to need one fastest race to make it 8 to be even. But instead of doing one fastest race, I decided to do 2 fastest races. So we're going to kick things off with Elementals Max D and Rex Explorer. It's going to Max D Elementals. Next up is Slinger taking on Monster Vet. It's going to be Slinger! What an upset! And the fastest Earth Championship race is Elementals Max D taking on Slinger. It's going to be Slinger! Now we are down to the quarterfinals of Slime Series number 422, the Double Pack Showdown edition. Let's go over your field of trucks. Inside of Bigfoot 10, we have Clovis, the Race Ace Luigi fan. Inside of Baja Buster, we have Dolores Simons. Inside of Hot Wheels Police, we have AK Beeson. Inside of Overkill Evolution, we have Kaz K. Inside of Buzz Lightyear, we have Riley McCord. Inside of Bone Shaker Evil Goblin, we have Red Crash Speedway. Inside of the Inverse Dragonoid, we have Monster Jam Collector 2010. And inside of Slinger, we have Tiger Racing. So, let's kick the quarterfinals off with Bigfoot 10 and Baja Buster. It's going to Bigfoot 10. Next up is Overkill Evolution taking on Hot Wheels Police. It's going to be Overkill Evolution. Next up is Bone Shaker Evil Goblin taking on Buzz Lightyear. It's going to be Bone Shaker Evil Goblin. And the final race of the quarterfinals is Slinger taking on the Inverse Dragonoid. It's going to be Slinger. Now we are down to the semifinals of Sonic Series number 422. Let's go over your field of trucks. Instead of Bigfoot 10, we have Clovis, the Race Ace Luigi fan. Instead of Overkill Evolution, we have Kaz K. Instead of Bone Shaker Evil Goblin, we have Red Crash Speedway. And instead of Slinger, we have Tiger Racing. So let's kick the semis off with Bigfoot 10 and Overkill Evolution. It's going to be, what a race. But it's going to be Overkill Evolution. Who will meet Overkill Evolution in the championship race? Bone Shaker Evil Goblin or Slinger? It's going to be Bone Shaker Evil Goblin. Alright guys, here is the championship race. Inside of Bone Shaker Evil Goblin, we have Red Crash Speedway. I believe he is a 3-time champion looking for his 4th. I could be wrong. And inside of Overkill Evolution, we have Kaz K. I believe he's won about 5, 6, or 7 times. I could be wrong on that as well. But let's crown your champion nonetheless. The winner of Sonic Series number 422, the Double Pack Showdown Edition, is going to be none other than... Oh, nice save by Overkill Evolution. But it's not enough. Red Crash Speedway takes the win. So Red Crash Speedway, congratulations on taking another win on my channel. I believe this is your 5th, 6th, or 7th win. Could be wrong. And Bone Shaker Evil Goblin has not been in the win category in a very long time, but you finally gave him a win. Congratulations, dude. Kaz K, you were so close to get that next win you were looking for, man. Almost there, buddy. He's got to make it that one step further, and I know that you're going to get that win one day. Better luck in Sonic Series 423, man. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Great race, everybody. Congratulations to Red Crash Speedway and Bone Shaker Evil Goblin for taking the win. And I'll see you guys in Sonic Series 423.
You could break my heart.